Mario. Who is Mario? Why am I receiving a Mario tax? Are you Mario?
Huh?
It's me! How yins doing? 2D Marios have gone through multiple eras that has greatly evolved what it means to be Mario. The first era began with Super Mario Bros. On the NES that blew up like wildfire because it's so simple, yet fun for some reason. Super Mario Bros. Is a 2D platformer where you move right until you reach the flagpole and that's it. Such a simple game, yet it revolutionized gaming as we know it, and many consider it one of the all-time greats. World 1, you get a grass level, an underground level, and a tree level before ending with a castle with this cool turtle named Bowser. World 2 has another grass level, an underwater level, and one of the worst levels of all, these cheap levels where they just keep flying at you. And you've just seen every level in the game. They keep reusing these 6 themes. Sometimes the levels will be at night or monochrome, but they're all basically the same levels. World 4 Castle introduces these paths where if you take the wrong path, the level just loops forever, which is really impressive for the NES. And then it's back to the typical grass, underwater, and... Please don't be trees, please don't be trees, please don't be trees. Giant mushrooms! That's basically the same thing. I get to the final level 8-4, where the level does the fun loop thing until you find the secret pipe to go down. You get all of the levels here, with a normal section, a cheap section, and an underwater section until you face Bowser. And he's just as easy as before. So you beat him, save the princess, and that's the end of the game. It is a solid but very repetitive game. Super Mario Bros. Was a fun game, as even though the levels felt the same, just the basic gameplay was fun enough that I wanted to keep going. The levels got progressively harder as the worlds went on, but I never got so angry that I wanted to quit. I just kept wanting to try again. If you do get a game over, it's actually pretty easy to get back to the world that you were on. There are secrets hidden in the game for the underground levels. You can play them normally or get on top of them with a scoreboard and cheat. If you do cheat, you get access to these warp pipes that skip worlds for you. The music was classic, but they kept using the same songs. Granted, they kept using the same levels, and that's really the only issue I had. The constant repetitiveness made all the levels just blend together. I couldn't tell how far into the game I was with just seeing the same things over and over again, and then all of a sudden, it was over. This game defined its era for 2D Marios and had one of the biggest influences on gaming one can imagine, with everyone else trying to be the next Mario because everyone fell in love with him. But what about the other Mario games in this era? Super Mario Bros. 2 never existed. There's no, oh, Japan got the lost levels while America got a reskin of a different game. No, it never existed in the first place. Super Mario Bros. 3, however, did exist. Super Mario Bros. 3 introduced a lot for Mario, from an overworld to the Koopalings, which will be used as bosses for the rest of time. Then came Super Mario World for the SNES, which just updated Mario's graphics to make him look his best and even introduced Yoshi. Had a couple games on the Game Boy with Super Mario Land and then nothing. No more 2D Mario games came out for 14 years. And Nintendo knew if they were to bring back 2D Mario, they would have to reinvent the Mario. And that's exactly what they did. New Super Mario Bros. For the DS is Nintendo returning Mario to his roots as a 2D platformer. Now I must face the difficult decision every YouTuber must make. How do I want to lay out the DS screens? I decided to take the streamer approach. The game starts and it looks like something is missing. There, perfect. The game starts and Bowser Jr. is the main villain this time instead of his father, and it's nice for him to finally get the limelight. The game feels just as tight as the NES and has the same amount of momentum. You do get to go left this time, which is nice, and you get a really cool new power-up, the Mega Mushroom. This shows that this game is for cool kids. World 1 generally follows the NES Mario with a grass level first and then an underground level second. They even let you go above the level just like in the NES version. Another new power-up is the blue shell, which makes you into a thrown Koopa shell, and it is never seen again in any other game. Because it sucks! Each world has a mini castle, which is just Bowser Jr. and he's easy but can get tricky, and a big castle with Bowser, my greatest enemy. Oh, he's dead. World 2 is desert themed and therefore has multiple desert levels. I make it to World 2 castle and, you know, with Bowser dead, what are they going to do for a boss? They have unique bosses that's not just the Koopa Kids? This is unheard of for a 2D Mario. This will never happen again. World 3 is a water-themed world and therefore bad. Also, the mushroom level is just cheap as hell. World 3 boss is just a bigger fish and you move on to World 5. Yeah, that's right, you skip World 4 as it's an entirely optional world. If you want to unlock it, you have to beat the World 2 boss as Mini Mario. And World 4 is hard! I fight a giant Goomba and move on to World 5. The first level's biggest enemy is Snow. The mini castle brings back the death elevator where spike balls just join you on your way up. But you also have to face your own stupidity. I end by fighting Petey Piranha and move on to Death Mountain. In World 6, you get these really cool edges that you shimmy or hang on. The big castle is somehow the hardest level, but I end up fighting a mole from the hit anime series Girls und Panzer. I then fight Petey again so that I can unlock World 7. In World 7, the ghost house has this really cool concept of having 5 doors for you to choose from. But what pissed me off the most was that World 7 did that thing that Mario World SNES did, where you had to find a secret ending in one of the levels in order to continue. Then you get this snake level for the final castle that you can't skip. You need to wait for the snake to be done on its path. Overall, World 7 was horrible and should be skipped. World 8, I get chased by a giant eel and, you know, there's a lot less levels here than the other worlds. But I beat Dry Bowser and oh, there's the rest of the levels. The final Bowser castle does this really cool thing where they flip the room upside down. Theo, why are we on the ceiling? What are we going to do about this?
Don't worry, Zach. I know exactly what to do.
Oh God, Theo, oh God, Theo the pain, oh Theo the pain, Theo the pain, oh. I face Bowser, who is healed now, and Bowser Jr. at the same time, and I just spam fireballs, killing them both, saving the princess, and that's the end of the game. That felt like a revival for 2D Mario games. New Super Mario Bros. Did nothing to improve on the Mario formula and just felt like NES Mario but with updated graphics. And it was good? The music was good, but there's actually like only one song. This isn't NES, they're not limited with hardware, but they decided that a grass level and scaling a mountain should have the same song. It did get annoying even though it doesn't sound bad. It was just disappointing going into a level and then hearing the same song again. The amount of levels greatly increased in this game and the levels got really difficult towards the end. Overall, it's still a good game that defined its new Mario era, with the Wii version perfecting it and even adding new power-ups. It was so good, they released it again and again and again and again, and then they made a mobile game. I don't know what that was all about, but 2D Mario has grown really stale at this point. If Nintendo wants to bring back Mario, they would have to again reinvent the Mario. Can they do it? The game starts at the Flower Kingdom and Bowser touches a flower and fuses with a castle to become the great and powerful Bowser Castle. Immediately, Mario Wonder feels different from the other 2D Marios. Mario is so much more animated, from him going into pipes to the Goombas being awoken. Everything feels so much more cartoony. Mario Inflation becomes canon with the new power-up Elephant Fruit and... what the heck? The Wonder Flower changes everything in the world and is how you collect Wonder Seeds. These effects can include more specific aspects of the levels like poles or pipes, enemies are singing, rain stars, hordes of enemies chasing you, hard to see things, Mario is an enemy, Mario figured out the third dimension, more Mario Inflation, Ghost Mario chasing you, and manipulating time. The Wonder Seeds are important as they are needed in order to progress the game. However, just playing the levels is good enough. You don't need the Wonder Flowers in every level. but you're missing out a lot if you do skip the flowers. There are badges in this game which can give you special powers like vertically climbing walls, put extra blocks in a level, or make you invisible. They are practically useless, as I only used the extra block one. I had no need for anything else. Nothing much happens in the first world as you're just getting used to the game, and Bowser Jr. is the boss for every castle, which sucks. I just wish they give him a cool redesign or something. Ooh, yeah, he's still very easy. He can just change the environments now. I beat him and got the first Royal Seed, and Bowser is cooking up something. Luckily, the Royal Seeds can prevent that. I just need to get more. Another new power-up is the Bubble Flower, which dissolves enemies with how acidic the bubbles are, and you can jump off the bubbles. It is the best power-up in the game. The second world is your typical snow and mountain world, and all of the levels just kind of blend together. But the Wonder Flowers just make me excited to see what's going to happen in every level. The first airship is here. The level is decent and ends with a classic Mario Castle level boss fight, where you have to get to the end behind the enemy and hit a button. World 3 has something unique where there's no boss, but instead I have to prove myself to Master Poplin.
Your next task, draw a perfect circle.
There's already a circle on there.
How the f did you do that?
A lot of jumping in this world, with enemies jumping, jumping on enemies, and dash jumping, all of that to impress Master Poplin, getting me the third Royal Seed. World 4 is the desert where there is sand, caves, and palaces. Lo and behold, it's your boy, Bowser Jr. being defeated again. World 5 is the Fungi Mines where all of the miners have gone missing. Miners with an E, traversing through the mine, slime, and avoiding us, I free the miners. Miners still with an E. World 6 is in a volcano where you dwell deeper and deeper into the volcano, checking in on researchers telling you, yeah, the magma is rising. I defeat Bowser Jr. again to get a Royal Seed, and I guess saved the lives of all the researchers from the magma. Having gotten all of the Royal Seeds, I make my way to Bowser's Gauntlet of Levels, and then to Bowser, where the final boss is an incredible rhythm boss fight where you have to time your attacks to the beat. It is the greatest final boss I've ever seen in any 2D Mario game, but you beat him, saving the Flower Kingdom, and that's the end of the game. This is the direction 2D Mario should be heading. Mario Wonder was a fantastic game. It doesn't feel like any other 2D Mario game. The biggest thing being the Wonder Flowers in every level. You don't need to do the Wonder Flowers, but then you just get a normal Mario level, and who would want that when you can completely change everything in the level? I loved every Wonder Seed in every level. There were repeat seeds, but they are still fantastic every time. The game took some inspiration from Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze as Mario goes into the background. In some levels you can only see silhouettes, but the game still looks beautiful. Every level also felt like it belonged in its world. It wasn't just Desert Level 1 and then Desert Level 2, but it was a desert level, then a temple, and then a palace. It all felt natural to the world it was in. Everything is worth playing in this game, and they give you an option to skip the harder levels since they are not all required. The gameplay is fantastic, and it's just 2D Mario. It plays like every other 2D Mario game, but the amount of detail they put into the presentation just sends it through the roof. Enemies do a fun little animation when they bump into each other, there's a little drum roll every time you do a ground pound, and they pluck a music note every time your character jumps, and it's a different note for every character and whether the character has a power up or not. The presentation is like nothing seen before in any 2D Mario game. The music didn't stand out other than the music levels, but it does sound great. It was nice to have these break time levels as it felt nice to do a short, easy level in between all these hard ones. I did not like how the only bosses in the game were Bowser Jr., Bowser Ship, or Bowser, as they did repeat Bowser Jr. like 3 or 4 times. I loved his redesign, but it was basically the same boss battle. I didn't use online, but I'm guessing it's fine as others' progress doesn't affect you at all. There was a great variety of characters, but the big issue is that they all play the same. Either everyone plays like Mario or they play like Yoshi. In the previous Mario titles, they all had a little bit of a difference, whether it was jumping higher or running faster, something else to feel a little bit different so that they were unique. Everyone should play this game, as it is the best 2D Mario game to date. I do believe this is the next era for 2D Mario games. It just sucks that the next 4 games we're going to get is going to be Wonder over and over again. You think that sounds fantastic. New Super Mario Bros. Got old fast.